Once upon a time, in a wide, grassy meadow nestled between rolling hills, there lived a flock of sheep. Among them was a young lamb named Shadow. Shadow wasn't like the other lambs in the flock. While they all had soft, snowy white wool, Shadow's coat was as black as the midnight sky. The other lambs often teased him. "Why don't you look like us?" they would say. "You don't belong in the flock." Shadow felt sad and left out. No matter how much he tried to fit in, he always felt different. "Why am I so different?" Shadow often asked himself. He longed to be like the other lambs, to feel like he belonged. A shadow in the night, one evening, as the sun dipped below the hills and the sky turned a deep purple, the flock settled down for the night. The shepherd, as always, stood guard with his faithful dog, keeping the sheep safe from danger. But that night, something unusual happened. Hidden in the darkness of the forest, a pack of hungry wolves was watching the flock. Their glowing eyes gleamed with hunger, and they crept closer and closer, silent as shadows. Shadow, who was lying a little apart from the flock, noticed movement in the bushes. His sharp eyes caught the glint of the wolves' teeth in the moonlight. His heart raced. He wanted to call out for help, but he knew that any noise might give away the wolves' position before the shepherd could act. Using his uniqueness. Then Shadow had an idea. He realized his black coat blended perfectly with the darkness of the night. Unlike the white sheep, he could move without being seen. Shadow took a deep breath, gathered his courage, and slipped quietly toward the shepherd. Step by careful step, Shadow crept past the sleeping flock and toward the shepherd. The wolves didn't notice him. He was just another shadow in the night. When he reached the shepherd, he nudged him gently with his nose and bleated softly, waking him up. The shepherd immediately understood something was wrong. He grabbed his staff and called his dog. Together, they chased away the wolves before they could harm the flock. A hero among the flock. The next morning, the flock gathered around Shadow. They had heard from the shepherd how Shadow's quick thinking and bravery had saved them all. "You saved us, Shadow," one lamb said, her voice filled with gratitude. "We're so sorry we made fun of you," said another. "Your black coat is what made it possible for you to help us." Shadow smiled for the first time in a long while. "Maybe being different isn't so bad after all," he said. From that day forward, Shadow was no longer just the black lamb of the flock. He was their hero. The other sheep came to admire him for his uniqueness and his courage, and Shadow finally felt like he belonged. Moral of the story: embrace your differences. They can be your strength. Shadow learned to take pride in what made him different, and the flock learned to appreciate that every member of their group had something special to offer. Together, they lived happily in the meadow, always watching out for one another.